1, 2, 3.
No. What happened to are you ready? No. Then 1, 2.
The next time you see it, it'll be looking pretty. Or my name's not Jeff Sardi.
Basic backyards become a true retreat. Decked out, next on Twist.
This is going to be a monster. This rural ranch house is on 5 acres of open space. This deck will be over 4,800 square feet surrounding a pool, 3 open gazebos, 2 cabanas, and an outdoor stone kitchen. It's a resort in the country. Damn, I can't wait.
Breaking now. 2 people rushed to the hospital after a house explosion on the city's east side. We're live on the scene with the latest.
It's Election Day. Who will make it to the November ballot? We have team coverage on the 11th Congressional District seat.
Masks are back. We have the list of stores now requiring employees and customers to mask up before entering.
I felt something off in my elbow. Every time I threw, it would hurt.
Overuse injuries. It's a product of the pandemic, and it's impacting our young athletes. What you need to know to protect your kids.
I wasn't expecting to medal. I just came out here and just tried to do a good beam set.
Hear from the GOAT herself, Simone Biles, on what it means to win a medal in Tokyo and what's next for her career. Plus, we'll check in on our local athletes. Stay with us. What's new starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hello again, Northeast Ohio, and welcome to What's New on another absolutely gorgeous summer afternoon. I mean, it is a 10 out of 10 with Betsy Kling. I'm Jay Crawford. Thanks so much for spending time with us. Betsy, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you too, Jay. We start, though, with breaking news out of the city's east side. A house exploded late this afternoon, injuring 2 people.
3 News' January Keaton joins us live now from the scene with the latest details. January, good afternoon.
Yeah, Jay and Betsy, this is a bad one. You're about to see what's left of the house at 3645 East 57th Street. It blew up earlier this afternoon. Demolition crews, you can see there, clearing what's left of the total loss. A 67-year-old man and 59-year-old woman with serious burns. Neighbors said they suddenly heard a loud boom around 1 p.m. that sounded like fireworks or a truck backfiring. Instead, they came outside and found that house on their block with the roof blown off, the walls blown out, and the place on fire. One man who was visiting someone 2 doors down jumped in to help.
I seen all the debris flying around and the lady screaming out from upstairs, help, help, help. So nobody else wanted to run in there and help her, so I jumped through the side of the house that wasn't engulfed in flames and moved the debris that was blocking the refrigerator was blocking the bottom door, and moved the debris from upstairs and basically shouldered her out through the back to safety.
Now, Cleveland Fire is still investigating the cause of the explosion. Coming up at 6, we're going to talk to a neighbor directly next door, just feet away, whose house also caught on fire from this explosion. He, too, made it out safely and is now taking care of his neighbor's animals. We'll hear more from them, as well as an emotional neighbor who cried at the thought of potentially losing her friend.
Incredible story. More to come on this for sure. January, thanks.
Now to the big election that's taking place in Cleveland. It's the battle for the 11th Congressional District seat. Voters have a few hours left to cast their ballot in the special election, and the winners make it to the November ballot.
We have team coverage throughout the day and night. Both Lena Lai and Marissa Saenz are live at watch parties for the top contenders, Nina Turner and Chantel Brown. But first, 3 News investigator Mark Namick joins us with what this race means. Mark, you've been following this race closely. Why is this seat so important here in Ohio?
Well, it has a great history here. Lou Stokes held this seat, was the first African-American congressman from Ohio. 15 terms he served before retiring, and that's when Stephanie Tubbs Jones, a very large personality, someone well-liked who, as we all know, later unexpectedly died. And that's when Marcia Fudge got in, and she held that seat until getting appointed to Joe Biden's administration as our housing secretary. And So that's a local narrative here that's very important and has deep roots. That's why the top two candidates are both African-American women, Nina Turner, who has deep roots in Cleveland, and Chantel Brown, who's also a Democratic Party chairwoman from this area, and she's also got a lot of ties and support from the local Democratic Party, so there's a real battle there, Jay.
Well, you talk about the local focus on this. What about the national picture? This is getting a lot of attention across the country.
Absolutely. The narrative going nationally, we saw it this past weekend when people came in, big Democrats, from Bernie Sanders, who is obviously a more progressive wing, Nina Turner, has his support, has many other supporters. And then there is Chantel Brown, who, comes with the Democratic, the traditional, the old guard in some ways. The Black caucus members came into town and picked sides. They picked Chantel Williams. So this is seen as a proxy fight, Betsy, as a real, to determine where the future of the party is going. Are they with Chantel, who's backing Joe Biden's policies, or do they go with Nina Turner, who could throw a little bit more pushback on some of that? And that's why we've seen millions of dollars put into this race.
Yeah, interesting. And it's a bit of a bellwether, too, to how Joe Biden is doing in the early stages of his presidency, at least here locally. Mark, why aren't we talking much about the Republicans that are also vying for this seat?
Great question. And traditionally, this seat, because we're such a heavily Democratic area, this has parts of Cleveland, parts of Akron in the suburbs. It's the winner tonight will be the next representative from the area. They just don't have a chance. In the past, they've not even fielded some candidates. I know there is a candidate going here who's a perennial candidate, and she'll have a real battle if she's going to get passed. But tonight, I think the winner will be picked.
All right, thanks, Mark. Great to see that overview of the seat and the overall race right now. But we're going to get into the individual campaigns. Our team coverage continues with Lena Lai now, who's live in Bedford Heights with what Chantel Brown's campaign is expecting. Lena?
Hi, good evening, guys. Yeah, we're here where Cuyahoga County Council member and Democratic Party Chair Chantel Brown will be hosting her watch party tonight here at a Touch of Italy restaurant in Bedford Heights. Now, Brown is hoping to fill the seat of her mentor, Marcia Fudge. Brown has seen quite the late surge in both funding and in the polls. She and opponent Turner in a neck-and-neck race right now that has captured national attention, with Brown representing the moderate wing of the party, Turner much more progressive. Can Brown pull off a win? We will be here to watch it throughout the night. Now over to Nina Turner's camp right up the road in Maple Heights, my colleague Marissa Saenz. Hi, Marissa.
Good evening, Lena. Yeah, we're here not too far from where you were, where Nina Turner will end her evening right now. Her campaign says that she's been spending the day out and about talking with voters, hitting those polling sites where people are casting their vote. Let me tell you, while we've been here, we've seen some of her staff kind of coming in the area and setting up for the evening, but it remains fairly quiet. I'll tell you that their campaign told me that they're expecting some 200 people to kind of join her this evening. And one thing that they really wanted to press on is that we're still in the middle of a pandemic, so a lot of people will be, or not a lot of people, everybody will be required to wear their masks, including ourselves. We'll be heading into the doors here soon, and we'll be here throughout the evening as those polls begin to close and as those results begin to trickle in. We'll see what happens, Betsy.
It's a big night tonight, but of course the focus turns to November once we hit the ground running tomorrow. All right, Marissa, thanks so much for that. And the polls close tonight at 7:30. If you haven't downloaded the 3 News app, it is so easy to do it, and you're going to have all this information right in the palm of your hand. We'll send notifications to you with the election results as we get them.
Well, if it feels like we're taking steps backwards in our fight against the coronavirus, it's because we are. 5 of the last 7 days, Ohio is reporting over 1,000 new COVID cases a day. The only 2 days which weren't over 1,000 were the weekend reporting days, and those numbers traditionally lower. We were at 1,769 new cases today. That's nearly 1,000 cases over our 21-day average. And folks, if you weren't sure before, you can bank on it now. The Delta variant is here. It has hit the Buckeye State, and it is hitting us hard. Deaths and hospitalizations tend to lag behind cases, but even now, we're already seeing those numbers click above our 21-day average. However, currently, COVID patients are only using 2.9% of the state's hospital beds. Experts believe that number will grow soon. As expected, the rise in cases has some in Northeast Ohio, including retailers and customers, bringing back their masks. 3 News' Austin Love joins us now with what you need to know. Austin, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, hey, Jay, we're great to be with you here, and you're right. Definitely going in the wrong direction. Those numbers that you were just talking about, incredibly staggering, and so many people that have been doing the right things, of what we've been told have been doing the right things, are frustrated, and that also includes local businesses. It also includes local restaurants as well, and those things are now thrust into another dilemma, the mask dilemma, to wear a mask or not to wear a mask. A number of large companies, including Giant Eagle, are now requiring masks for customers and also employees. Locally, Slyman's restaurant downtown has always required masks. If you step in there, it's much like it was during the heart of the lockdowns. On the other hand, many restaurants do not want to add more restrictions. I spoke to a customer of Slyman's today, Liz Scott. She is over 60 and has asthma. She admittedly hates wearing a mask, but has welcomed the return to ensure everyone's safety.
It's lives. Our lives is at stake. So as long as our lives is at stake, we need to do what we need to do to protect everybody else around us and ourselves. Even though I hate it, don't get it wrong, but I don't mind putting it on when I come in places because, as you can see with Slyman's, everybody in there, I don't know these people, but I don't want to be the cause of them getting sick.
Yeah, so the mask debate once again coming to the forefront, vaccine or no vaccine, regardless. And coming up at 6J, I speak with Sam McNulty. He's the owner of Nano Brew and also a number of different restaurants on West 25th. And he's saying that he doesn't want to, currently he's not requiring his staff or customers that are coming in to wear masks, and says that he doesn't want to do that. He's just simply asking everyone to get the vaccine. We'll have more story on that story coming up at 6 o'clock.
All right. I think we can all agree Liz is a pretty smart woman. She speaks for a lot of us. Austin Love.
Absolutely.
Good to see you in the afternoon, Austin. Thanks. One more quick note on this topic. We've just learned that Summit County is now orange, meaning it has substantial transmission. That means all of Northeast Ohio counties, except for Lake and Ashtabula, are orange. And you can also add the Pro Football Hall of Fame to the list of places requiring the use of masks indoors, regardless of your vaccination status. The Hall of Fame is now requiring mask use during indoor Enshrinement Week events. That, of course, kicks off Thursday with the Cowboys-Steelers Hall of Fame game. The recommendation does not apply to outdoor events, which, of course, includes the enshrinement ceremony. Biles is back. We'll hear from Simone on her return to the Olympic stage today after withdrawing from some of the competitions earlier in the Olympics. Hear what she says will be her next chapter.
Plus, ahead in Pop Break, Rebel Wilson's recreation. Which pop star the actress is channeling for her new movie?
And Matt Wentz, just an absolute 10. I don't know if there's anything else I can say about today.
I don't think there is either. I think they've cut my time down to about 15 seconds. Your outdoor dining forecast looking great this evening. We'll fall back through the 70s. We do have some heat over the next 7 to 10 days. We'll talk about that as well as your rain chances. Something's got to change, right? We'll be back with that forecast.
What's New is sponsored by Cleveland Clinic, celebrating 100 years of care.
Talking Tokyo now, and it is what everyone has been wanting to see. If Simone Biles would bounce back after withdrawing from several competitions to put her mental health first.
Well, today, 1 week after the decision to skip several competitions, Biles made the choice to get back in the mix and compete in the individual balance beam, where she finished third to take home the bronze medal. Biles spoke out after competition today, saying she's just glad to have competed again, despite her challenges.
I wasn't expecting to medal. I just came out here and just tried to do a good beam set. I switched to my dismount last minute because of everything going on. At the end of the day, we're not just entertainment, we're humans, and there are things going on behind the scenes that we're also trying to juggle with as well, on top of sports.
She's been an inspiration for a lot of folks, and as for what's next in her career, she said she's going to take time on deciding whether to compete again. Now, keep in mind that bronze was the second medal that she was awarded at this Tokyo Games. It's her 7th medal overall in her Olympic career. She is the GOAT.
She is the GOAT. She said she's going to take some time before she makes the decision. Let's face it, in gymnastics at 24, that is well past the average age of the competitors.
Yeah.
In gymnastics, you have it, your teens really is the heart of your competitive years. But the tough thing about the Olympics is we got to wait. Normally we have to wait 4 years. This time we only have to wait 3 years. But at 27, the chances of her making the team, even as the GOAT, it's a long shot. But I'll say this, with Simone Biles, never say never.
Well, she could always just go in for one of the events, so she doesn't have to do everything.
Focus on one.
She has her entire career now. She could really hone in and focus just on one, and that may be something that she can really take advantage of.
And I think this is great because she faced her demons. She went out there, she performed well, and she brings home a medal. I think it's a good, positive ending for her.
I think gold medal weather.
Oh, my
Should we go there?
If you could give 2 gold medals, I think it's
like
a
the high
double
jump.
gold.
It's like the men's high jump.
It's a double gold. And Matt, your weather word today, it ties into gymnastics. They all are striving for perfection, that perfect 10.0 score, which is rarely awarded. I think perfection is going to be pretty easy to fit into your forecast today, though.
Well, rain arrives tomorrow, Jay, so no, I'm just kidding. We'll be okay. Yeah, I think that'll be easy over the next 7 to 10 days. We look good. It doesn't get much better than this. This is great for just outdoor activities in general and enjoying Mother Nature at its best here in August. Temperatures a little bit warmer than yesterday. We've cranked that up a little bit. We'll do so over the next couple days, generally upper 70s to near 80 degrees, couple low 80s on the map as well. Wind continues to be light. What you noticed today was another comfortable day. The dew points, these are some of the lowest values we've had in weeks around here. In fact, we've got dew points in the 40s, very, very dry air in place. That is really where it is across the Ohio Valley. All the humidity down towards the Gulf Coast. Talking to a friend in Nashville last night, he said people are wearing jackets. It was very fall-like there as well, as this dry air has gone all the way down to areas of the Tennessee Valley. But over the next 7 days, watch how the darker colors start to come back towards the north. We're going to open up the Gulf of Mexico again. It's going to take its time, so nothing really tropical around here till next week, but next week's pattern is certainly looking much different than what we're dealing with right now. High pressure is still large and in charge down towards the south. It is a soaker. They're getting hammered with heavy rain. The Sunshine State, not so sunshiny this afternoon. Carolina's getting heavier rain as well. All of this eventually will head up the eastern seaboard as we take a big picture look at your National Design Mart forecast. I mentioned yesterday, still keeping our eye on it. There's a little wave of energy that's going to come off this. May kick off a stray shower over the next couple days, but overall we're talking dry weather, bulk of the rain off towards the east coast. This will head up the east coast. We're still stuck with just some messy weather across the Great Lakes of the isolated variety. Not a big deal, but you can see we'll start to get things moving again as we get into next week, and that will eventually turn towards a large ridge that will bring that thunderstorm pattern back to our areas we get into next week. But in terms of rainfall, pretty dry around here. You'll need to run the sprinklers and keep those gardens looking good because all the rain's off the east coast. We're not talking big precip chances around here, just a hit or miss shower next couple days. It's the weekend we'll start to fire up perhaps some afternoon thunderstorms, and those still will be very isolated as we got a pretty dry forecast until next week. Perfection for your Wednesday around here. Get my foot in there. There you go. Your Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast, 82 degrees, beautiful tomorrow. We're in the mid-80s on Thursday. A couple clouds floating through on Friday, and then we're back to the 90s with those pop-up thunderstorm chances over the weekend. Not a washout. We'll keep our eye on that. Better chances Monday, Tuesday on into next week as we get very tropical around here. Betsy?
You had to be reminded, didn't you?
You almost forgot the weather word.
We are over here going, you had to be reminded.
Yeah, it was kind of a hybrid. I was going to save it for the end, but then,
They reminded you anyhow.
You're so busted.
I know.
All right, Matt, thanks. Coming up for us after the break, channeling her inner Britney. Don't we all do that? Which celebrity transformed into an iconic Britney Spears look for a new movie role?
Matt's such a likable guy. The control room always has his back.
I know.
They always have his back.
And he always finds a way to sneak it in there.
Yes, he does. Plus, a one-man band, how Chance the Rapper, that was for Matt, I think, is giving fans an inside look at his life and work in a project that he worked on all by himself, solo style for Chance.
Look at that, he likes Channel 3.
Yeah, he's a big Channel 3 fan.
I'm just kidding.
He wore the hat that Matt sent him.
We're going to be talking about Rebel Wilson and her recreation of Britney Spears' icon.
Welcome back. It is time now for your Daily Pop Break.
And Kira Cotton joins us with a recreation of an iconic music video. I can't wait to see this. A new concert film on the way, but we're going to start with the latest on Bill and Melinda Gates.
We sure are. Bad news bears, guys. Love is no longer in the air for these two. After 27 years, Bill and Melinda Gates have called it quits, and their divorce is final. The Microsoft co-founder and former GM first announced their separation back in May. In a joint social media post, they wrote, "After a great deal of thought and a lot of work on our relationship, we have made the decision to end our marriage. Now, according to reports, moving forward, Melinda won't change her last name or receive any spousal support. Together, they share 3 children and their joint foundation that is valued at over $40 billion. And Chance the Rapper is set to bring his world to the big screen. The Chicago native's new concert film is set to offer a one-of-a-kind experience. The film documents a secret 2017 concert in his hometown following his 3 Grammy wins for his album Coloring Book. And Chance is a one-man band. Not only did he star in the film, he's also the writer, producer, and editor. Magnificent Coloring World is set to premiere in Los Angeles next week and will be available at select AMC theaters. And Rebel Wilson is channeling her inner Britney Spears for a new Netflix film. While on the set for her new comedy, Senior Year, the 41-year-old actress recreated Spears' 1999 music video for Crazy, sparkly emerald top and all. Wilson shared pictures from the shoot on Instagram and behind-the-scenes videos on TikTok. In a post, she wrote that her character in the movie is a huge fan and that they used Britney as inspo for their cheer squad. Now, with so much attention on Britney and her conservatorship case, I'm sure this isn't the only recreation we'll see.
That's pretty cool. Rebel Wilson looks amazing, doesn't she? She's just really been able to transform herself. We have to revisit the Chance the Rapper 3 on the hat.
Yeah.
Coloring Book is his third mixtape, which is why the 3 was there. He does have a fourth tape out.
Yeah.
But he didn't go with the
he's still
4.
a Channel 3 fan.
I think he is too.
I think we can claim that.
By the way, Kira, it sounds like Chance the Rapper is Chance the jack of all trades.
Right? We should hire him.
Editing his film?
And he is to Chicago what LeBron is to Akron. Super philanthropic.
Absolutely.
So big,
Absolutely.
big on giving back.
Kira, thanks.
Sure thing. Thanks so much. All right, it is 5:27 right now, and we are going to be talking about masking up again at 5:30. As the Delta mutation of COVID-19 continues to spread, find out where you're going to need to mask up.
And youth sports injuries. Young athletes are getting hurt at a quicker rate. And we're going to tell you what several physical therapists are saying about the connection between these injuries and, you guessed it, the pandemic.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
We begin with 3 things you need to know now at 5:30. First up, we continue to follow breaking news from the city's east side. This is a live picture you'll be seeing from the 3600 block of East 57th Street in Cleveland, where a house exploded earlier today, just around 1 o'clock. A man and a woman were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Cleveland Fire is still investigating the cause of the explosion.
As the Delta variant continues to spread across the United States, many big chain employers are now requiring workers to wear masks again. McDonald's, Walmart, Target, and Kohl's will all start requiring employees to wear those masks in counties that are considered high risk. McDonald's also requiring customers to wear masks when they're inside the restaurants in those high risk areas, and that's regardless of your vaccination status. Kohl's and Target saying They'll strongly recommend customers wear masks in those counties as well. All Home Depot workers will again start wearing masks.
And voting for the special election is happening now. You have until 7:30 to get the ballots in for the 11th Congressional District race. The election is to fill Marcia Fudge's seat, who President Biden selected to serve as the U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. The top two opponents are Democrats Nina Turner and Shontel Brown, who will be vying for the Democratic ticket in the November election. We'll bring you coverage throughout the night and on air. Of course, also on all of our digital platforms. And on that note, we welcome you back to What's New on this gorgeous Tuesday afternoon. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford.
Yeah, you know, I want to know a place where I can live where it's 365 of these, just like today.
You can't.
It doesn't exist.
You have to be able to move a lot.
Yeah.
Pack
Wouldn't that
your
be
bags.
nice, though?
It would be okay. I think it would get boring. Like, at least I'm a weather nerd, so
yeah,
it would
you
be
want
totally
you
boring
want a
to me.
variance, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with days like this.
It is nice to get a break,
today.
definitely.
Beautiful.
Well, we are, of course, keeping a close eye on the Olympics because some Northeast Ohio Olympians are back now to the States to talk about their experience in Tokyo.
And an Ohio Olympian fights for gold, literally. Will Ewick joining us with our Olympic happy hour. We've been doing it every day throughout the Olympics. It's been a lot of fun because it's really, if you're only going to watch one thing to track all the Ohio athletes, this is the must-see report.
I still think we should have cocktails.
Yeah.
Maybe next time I'll bring it. Maybe Friday to end it up.
That'd be all right.
He said he's fighting for a gold medal, literally. You could also say he punched his ticket, literally.
I see what you did there,
It's Cincinnati's Duke Reagan in the featherweight finals. What an incredible run that he is on. Reagan fought Samuel Taki of Ghana in the semifinals. Both men already, of course, guaranteed the bronze medal, but both were looking for more. Reagan very poised in the ring last night. Took what Taki gave him, and it showed on the scorecards. Duke takes the bout by a 4-1 decision.
I feel like he probably was more busier, but I knew I landed cleaner shots, harder shots, neck-breaking shots, stuff like that.
The right call as well. The gold medal match is this Thursday at 2:35 a.m. Reagan will take on Albert Batyagirzeev of Russia. Also, moving on to the finals, Columbus, Ohio resident Joe Kovacs, who moved to Columbus because his wife Ashley is the track and field coach at Ohio State. She's also his coach. The American threw 20.93 meters this morning, good enough for 5th in his group and good enough to move on to the finals. That's tomorrow night at 10:05 local time. And what a way to make an entrance. Dover's Hunter Armstrong, an Ohio State Buckeye swimmer, returned home late last night. You guys like his necklace?
Yeah,
pretty cool necklace he's got. And you know, even though he's only had that gold medal a couple of days, he's not satisfied and already thinking about 3 years from now.
I'm looking forward to Paris, so hopefully I can get an individual, but of course this is a start, and it's honestly just surreal. Like, I don't know, it's just so cool.
And also returning to Cleveland last night, just about, 4 or 5 days since he left?
There he is, Betsy.
Coming in style. Everybody stopped the one for the gold medal, and they stopped Ludwig there because he was carrying that. That's Matt Ludwig, the alternate, called to action last second to compete in men's pole vaulting if the images didn't give it away. Says he went from boxing up to move from his apartment to competing in the Olympics in a flash. And the support that he felt from Northeast Ohio was nothing short of amazing.
For the times that I was on my phone, it was just constantly blowing up with legitimately hundreds of messages from friends, family, supporters, people I'd honestly never met. And so for me, that was something I've never been used to, that much support, that much love and care and interest in the sport that I was doing.
His reply should have been, thanks so much, I appreciate the support. What are you doing next, Wednesday? Can you help me move? Imagine if he would have just got about 10% of everyone that texted him good luck to come help him move.
They would set the world record for the fastest move
there
ever.
There you go. Maybe that's a new Olympic event.
And I got to tell you, the boxers, man, they have matches every other day.
Yeah.
The pain.
That's grueling.
Like, I get a hangnail and I hit my finger and I get all sad. But I mean, just punch.
In professional boxing, they may take 3, 4, 5 months off.
Yeah.
And these guys are
Well, they go
every
long
other
periods.
day.
These
Yeah,
are
but
three rounds. They're quick, but you're right.
But
I mean, it's
still.
like getting in a car wreck every couple of days here, and they bounce right back.
That's amazing.
And how about our guy Duke? Neck-breaking punches he was throwing.
Yeah.
He's out to win it, man.
It was, I mean, honestly, you could see he was treating this like the sweet science, what they call it. When you're watching it, the kid that he was fighting, who was young 20s from Ghana, had a long reach and was, throwing frantically.
So he had a game plan.
Duke was very calculated with everything, and it showed up.
My goodness.
Very good.
So exciting.
All right, Will, always good. Thank you.
See you
Coming
tomorrow.
up on the Olympic Zone with Jimmy. Well, Will's going to tell, or they're going to tell us about the Toledo native. He could be wearing Olympic gold around his neck, but it took 9 years to happen. That's a great story. Plus, we'll meet David Taylor. He's a freestyle wrestler from just outside Dayton. All that and so much more. It's coming up on the Olympic Zone right here on 3 News at 7:30.
In the meantime, still ahead on what's new, we're seeing an increase in sports injuries as a lot of kids are headed to the doctor because of sprains, tears, and fractures. Why physical therapists are blaming the pandemic.
And a special day for one special service dog. The celebrations in Akron today for this guy. So many coming up.
Good dog walking weather, Matt. Boy, I am teeing it up with great tosses today. Just seamless.
Absolutely. If I would have known, I could have done the Donna walking forecast. We could have put it together. That's okay, though. I think it's still good. Beautiful scene there. CSU Skycam showing the beautiful skies across Northeast Ohio. We're not alone. Much of the Midwest is quiet. It's active down towards the vacation homes down along the Gulf Coast. This will head up the East Coast. We'll let you know how that impacts us. We'll also talk heat over the extended period. All that when What's New returns.
The Summer Games Medal Count is sponsored by Dollar Bank. Let's get you there.
All right, it's time to get another check of the forecast. 540 right now on a beautiful afternoon. You can't get better than this, man. I actually went for a bike ride. That's how nice it is, everybody. I did physical activity today. It was very exciting.
That's a big deal.
I will regret it tomorrow, but for today, It was awesome.
Betsy, that look at your face, she posted it on Instagram on her account. That look on your face was pure joy.
That was the, I can still ride a bike face. It's amazing.
Right. A lot of 5-year-olds going through the same thing right now as well. That's fantastic. But, I hope everyone got outside today. I think we should have sliced the roof off the studio here. I'll have to ask some questions around that. But it is just so nice outside because the humidity is low, right? It's very manageable. Another stellar night in store. We'll have mainly clear skies. You get the heating of the day. The clouds bubble up inland as you get away from the lake. Those will fade as the sun goes down. We're back into the 60s, even some upper 50s overnight tonight. We'll have to see, if we get quite as cool as last night. We were down to 53 degrees at Hopkins last night. Some low 50s inland as well. But you can see the satellite picture. There's your bubble up cumulus clouds. Some decent storms along a lake breeze boundary off towards the north in Ontario. I bet you could see those from the back deck. I'll see if I could tweet that out later, some 60 miles away. But you notice this activity down towards the south. There's a little wave of moisture heading through the Appalachian Mountains right now. Models kick off a little wave that may bring a couple stray showers in here over the next couple days. But you can't help but notice the bulk of the rain's down in Florida. They are just getting a washout along the I-10 corridor, 95 up towards the Carolinas, seeing some flooding issues with this, some 4, 5, 6 inches of rain expected from this. Your National Design Mart look ahead, though, keeps this system away from us. It'll slowly meander up the eastern seaboard. We'll contend with those spotty showers the next couple days. Otherwise, we're dry. I think bulk of the hours, bulk of the locations will be dry. And off towards the north, that's really where our next weather pattern is going to come from. Once this heads on by, we'll start to develop a ridge, and much like a couple weeks ago when it was hot, we saw those daily shower and thunderstorm chances. That returns next week as it looks right now. But until then, enjoy the dry weather, just the comfortable dog days of summer as they call it. Not much movement to the atmosphere. So your precip chances, you can't rule out a stray shower next couple days or the weekend. Those will be more thunderstorm, perhaps lake breeze driven on the weekend, but overall a very dry pattern the next couple days. Look at the muggy meter, though. Here we go. This is an uphill battle over the next couple days. In fact, we're going to get back to the tropical category next week as we switch that pattern around. But it has been a cool summer. 90-degree days through today. We've only had 5. Last summer at this time, we've had 13 90-degree days. So it certainly has been cooler as the pattern across the eastern U.S. has been the cool side. All the heat's been off towards the west. But watch what happens as we go throughout the course of this week on to next week. These are your departure from averages. A lot of red on here. We'll start to go 10, 15 degrees above average around here, and that's all courtesy of the jet stream. This ridge will start to move. It'll build across the eastern half of the country. That'll bring the heat in here, and that looks to stay at least a good portion of next week. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. 80s over the next couple days will build to upper 80s by the weekend. Just some stray shower and thunderstorm chances. Once we get to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're talking 90s heat. Here's your pattern change where we have those daily thunderstorm chances. But until then, some ho-hum weather around here. Betsy?
It is summer in the CLE, and we do like our variety. Thanks so much, Matt.
Happy birthday to you. Yeah, today's show is Something Good is all about Avery the dog. He turns 10 years old this week, and he works at the Summit County Prosecutor's Office in Akron. And his job is to help comfort victims of different kinds of abuse and assault, especially with children. One of those survivors was there today to celebrate, speaking just how important Avery's comfrey is.
He is a light in my life, and it's not just me that he helped so many countless kids, adults. It doesn't really matter who you are. If he's in the courtroom with you, you feel better about it.
Oh my gosh, what a wonderful testimony. Avery was in good spirits, and he got to enjoy some cake and a puppuccino, and has been a part of the prosecutor's office for 8 years. Unsung hero right there.
Absolutely.
Oh, sweet. Well, still to come for us, everybody. She's back, Simone Biles. That's the return of gymnastics GOAT, the greatest of all time, as she took to the beam early today.
And sports injuries are on the rise. Why some physical therapists say COVID-19, believe it or not, is actually to blame. In the U.S., roughly 30 million children and teens take part in organized sports every year. Injuries, always a possibility, but this year it's a little different.
Yeah, physical therapists are seeing more kids dealing with strains, tears, and stress fractures, and they believe the cause has a lot to do with COVID. Senior health correspondent Monica Robbins has the story.
Caden Vogelpole is one of the top young pitchers in the area. At 13, he plans on playing in high school, then college, and his dream, the MLB. But since teams got the okay to play ball last summer, Caden has been sidelined twice.
I felt something off in my elbow. Every time I threw, it would hurt, and then it just stung for a couple days. And so then we went and got it checked out, and it turns out my growth plate came off my elbow.
First, his elbow. Then this year, his throwing shoulder. Growth plate injuries like Caden suffered are not uncommon, but have to be taken seriously.
I saw elbow injuries and shoulder injuries in growth plates because the growth plate is an area where there's really rapid cell turnover, and they're not really designed to see the loads that we put at them in baseball.
Not just baseball, but other youth sports saw injury spikes too. Sports medicine specialists point to definite COVID-related causes.
When you condense seasons and you try and fit things in, that is a setup for an overuse injury.
That was the case for Caden last year. The season started late, and the team played more games than usual in a shorter amount of time.
It was hard since you were always tired playing.
No preseason, condensed seasons, and the impact of some seasons being canceled altogether. For example, when high school track got canceled in 2020, it impacted the conditioning and training for athletes who also run cross country in the fall.
So a lot of injuries that we see in all ages is from that change in intensity from sitting doing nothing to doing too much. And the best way to prevent that is to make sure you're active.
50 to 60 minutes a day, doing anything is a good rule of thumb. And if your young athlete does start experiencing pain in their sport, a word of caution. Adult aches and pains and kid aches and pains are very different, especially when growth plates are involved.
My rule of thumb is the longer you've had it, the longer it takes to go away. Meaning that the longer you seek help or treatment, the less likely you're going to heal quickly.
Make sure that, if your kid tells you that their arm is hurting, don't just kind of blow it off, kind of make sure you're going and getting it checked out. Unfortunately, we waited a little bit.
Caden's family now sees things differently. He is pitching again, but with strict limitations and not in games yet. Parents and his new coach are all on the same page. Rest more important than team records, no matter what, so that Caden can stay in the game for years to come. Monica Robbins, 3 News.
Monica, thanks. Coming up next, we're going live to Tokyo to get a look at Simone Biles' return to the Olympic Games, and men's basketball had a test on their way to the semifinals.
And still ahead, it is special election day. What to know if you're heading to the polls still this evening. They're open until 7:30. And a check of the top candidates in the 11th Congressional District race. We'll be right back. After the pop break, of course. Here's the question. Which Olympic Games did women compete in all the sports on the program? Remember, there were some sports that women didn't get to participate in, but in this particular Olympics, women were in all of them, 92, 08, or 12. We'll have the answer when we return.
Hi, mic check 1, 2, 3. Here at a Touch of Italy restaurant in Bedford Heights. The Brown campaign Expecting about 250.
Hey, yeah, good evening. Here we are in the 11th hour stretch for this special election. Former State Senator Nina Brown will be ending her day.
Thanks.
All right, before the break, we asked you which Olympic Games did women participate in all the sports on the program, and the answer is 2012.
What?
To the addition of women's boxing.
Oh, that's kind of embarrassing, though, really. I mean, you'd think they would have had a chance in everything before that. All right, we go back to the Olympics now, where Simone Biles made a strong showing in a return to competition earlier today, and Team USA celebrates some big wins in track and field.
NBC's Liz McLaughlin is in Tokyo with more.
Simone Biles is beaming with joy after taking bronze on the final day of gymnastics at the Games.
Just to have one more opportunity to compete at the Olympics meant the world to me.
A triumphant return to competition after missing out on the other finals due to a mental block that gymnasts call the twisties.
I physically couldn't do it safely, and it's because I was getting so lost in the air.
Durant right down the lane.
On the court, the U.S. men's basketball team is advancing after a win against Spain.
It was a great game. It was a dogfight. It was what we expected.
American teenager Athing Mo living up to expectations on the track, winning Team USA's first gold in the 800 meters in more than 50 years, with teammate Raven Rogers nabbing the bronze. Harvard grad Gabrielle Thomas finished third in the women's 200 meters. And in the highly anticipated men's 400-meter hurdles,
It's Rai Benjamin and his nemesis, Karsten Warholm.
American Rai Benjamin finished second behind Norway's Karsten Warholm.
Really rough the process. It's hard to run that fast and lose.
Both shattering world record times.
The world has never seen a run like that before.
But only one got the gold.
There are legacies on the line here in Tokyo. We've got women's basketball on the quest for 7 consecutive gold medals. I had to wear my Diana Taurasi jersey today. Her and Sue Bird, veterans, going after 5 Olympic golds. In men's basketball, they're going after 4. Women's water polo going after 3. And of course, the excitement is nonstop now on the track. The women will take on that 400-meter hurdle race, and the 2 fastest in that event are Americans, Sydney McLaughlin and Delilah Muhammad, favorites in that event. Betsy, Jay?
Well, speaking of track and field, we have seen so many records breaking during this Olympics. Is this going to continue? Because there's a lot more that could still happen.
You may very well see more, and part of it might be due to some technology. The track is a specialized track with a new material that's meant to be bouncier, and runners that we've spoken with say it feels like they're running on a trampoline. So that could be part of the reason that they're flying through those record times. I've also got a shoe here. This is used in the 100 and 400 meter hurdles. There are specialized spikes to help them round those turns faster, and a carbon plate. Basically lots of technology built in there to help them jump higher, run faster, and really crush those records. Betsy, Jay?
So cool.
All right, and we're seeing them fall. We really are. That hurdle race last night was incredible. He broke a world record and lost the Olympic gold.
He's like, it's hard to run that fast and get second. I'm like, you could just end it right after it's hard to run that fast.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Period.
That's fine.
Liz, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow. And thank you for watching What's New. We hope to see you tomorrow at 5.
What matters most with Russ and Laura starts right now.
Now at 6, breaking news. A house explodes on Cleveland's east side, sending 2 to the hospital. We're live on the scene with the latest. Also, it's special election day.
Anytime Ohio holds an election, the world is watching.
There is still time to vote in today's special election for the 11th District Congressional seat. We'll go live to watch parties as the candidates wait for those results to come in. Policy revision.
When the game starts, you have a game plan, and you think you're going to follow the game plan, and then your opponent does something you don't expect, and you have to adjust.
With just a few days before the enshrinement festivities, the Pro Football Hall of Fame changes its stance on wearing masks at this weekend's events. And local impact. Hometown athletes continue to make big waves in Tokyo as the Olympics enter the final days of competition.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Our top stories tonight: an explosion in flames turned a Cleveland home into a pile of rubble, and the people inside are left seriously injured.
And it's down to the wire in the 11th District congressional race. Election day is winding down, and we want to say good evening and thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Laura Queso.
And I'm Russ Mitchell. Let's begin with that house explosion. Many questions remain this evening, and January Keaton is live now from the scene with the latest. January, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, Russ. You know what? This house explosion, neighbors said, sounded like fireworks. It happened around 1 p.m. this afternoon. You can see what's left after demolition crews have torn down a large majority of it. Neighbors say they suddenly heard a loud boom, came outside, found a house on their block with the roof blown off, the walls blown out, and the place on fire. The house next door also caught on fire. A woman inside the blown-out house was